Hey guys, I'm Pacey Cervantes, new in Nashville with Dylan Schneider. How are you doing? Are you in a studio right now?
I'm good, brother. Yeah, we've been writing. We just finished up recording a bunch of new stuff for this new project we're working on, but already back in, already, focused on like trying to figure out the new vision and where we're gonna go next. But yeah, we just been writing all day.
Can you? I mean, I know everything is hush hush during the writing process, but can you share like any kind of like what the vision might be leading into?
Yeah. So like for what I'm kind of shooting for on this next thing, obviously we just released my EP Bad Decisions with like 6 new songs that we love. But the bigger project, which we don't really have a release date for yet, um, but I think that we're gonna get there, and I think that we have it all almost figured out. It's just kind of like the story of my life the last few years, being in this town, growing up, figuring out like my career and like what I want to say, and I just think it's all about putting everything together and making it all make sense. You know what I mean? And yeah, I have some ideas. A lot of people are really excited, and I can't wait to share it with everybody once it's done and all ready to go.
Yeah, the thing I love about a lot, especially in country, is people you see how they grow through their music. It's not just stuff to make a hit. It's like you write your own stuff and you're writing from the perspective of your life.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, dude. And like as I've grown and like as I've learned how to be a better writer or be a better artist, that's shown. I just feel like even with like EP after EP or single after single that we've put out, and I think this is just the final kind of send off of the stage that I'm in and the life that I've lived, which I'm, like I said, just so excited and proud of the music we've recorded and ready for everyone to hear it. I think it's going to be at the end of this year, maybe beginning of next year, but definitely, man, you see a lot of that growth and not just the person and the artist, but in the songwriting and in the storytelling and the things they have to say.
Yeah, I love that. But I mean, let's be clear. You've been writing for like a decade. You started writing at like what, age 14?
Yeah, like 14 years old. And then me and my buddy we're doing it together back in Indiana around 15, and it's cool now. We're both signed here in Nashville. His name's Gabe Faust. We're both signed to Kane Brown's publishing company here, and just doing it together and winning together. From back home in Indiana down to Nashville, and it's the craziest thing ever. But it's been a long ride.
Do you ever listen to the music that you wrote at 14 and either cringe or be like, "Oh, that was actually pretty good"?
You know, I do listen to it, and I was almost going to listen to it today a little bit ago. Um, I'm not really cringe. I know people that do listen to old stuff and they get cringe. Like I'm never one to shy away from being like, this is what I did before, because I feel like the stuff you did before just brings out that growth so much more. And it's like you should be proud of it, man. Like that's where you
Yeah.
start. Everybody that does this started at one point writing the worst songs you would probably ever hear, the most embarrassing songs that nobody, they think nobody would want to hear. But it's like when you listen to that stuff, that's what grounds you and brings you back to the beginning and shows you,
Yep.
damn, I'm better than I ever thought I could be. Don't take those as L's. Take those as the first W's. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
That's a
the
huge W.
real.
Listening to where you were at 14 to what you're writing now, that is a huge W.
Yeah, it's just slap you in the face about like what's to come and like how great you've been doing.
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of how great you've been doing, you've toured with, you just mentioned Kane Brown. You've toured with him, you've toured with Scotty McCrae, and you've toured with Morgan Wallen. Like, how is it touring with those stars?
Dude, it's been insane. And I've toured with these guys, when they weren't who they are today, when I wasn't, who I am today. We've seen each other like get to go through, the gutter and get to have those big, championship wins and like go to the next level. And it's just an honor to be even considered, a friend of theirs, or like to be, an acquaintance, and to be in the same room with a lot of those guys has been amazing. Um,
Do
but I
any of them
love,
offer you advice?
of course, man. Like, yeah, some of them more than others, obviously, always. some of them are just great, genuine human beings down to the core. And there's always the guys, you know, and who knows what everybody's going through at times, but there's always the guys that are a little more stuck up or like this and that. But I've made a lot of good friends on the road and a lot of good dudes that have just tried to, you know, give me, I guess, the best guidance and reach out and say any help you ever need, any questions you ever have, you know, don't be afraid to reach out. So like to have their support and their backing is amazing.
Yeah. And then you just, I think, was this year your first year doing Stagecoach?
Yeah, dude, it was my first Stagecoach this year.
How was that?
It was dope, man. I mean, the weekend was so busy. It was so long. We released the EP that weekend too, so we did a bunch of press. Got to hang out with everybody, but being out in the desert for 4 or 5 days straight, dude, it was hard, man. Like we had to always have, you know, the bandanas pull over. You wanted to take care of yourself. Also, you wanted to party. Late nights in the desert, you know, you're watching Nickelback, Wiz Khalifa. You want to go to all the after parties. It was hard. You wanted to like definitely make sure you're ready for the next day and feeling good. But as an overall experience, the people were great. The lineup was amazing. And, you know, the promoters and everybody that puts on that show, the buyers are just so great to everybody. And I can't complain. It was like all the festivals I've done and where I want to go, that was like the top of the list to check off.
Awesome.
Yep.
I love that. I love that. Are there any other like major festivals or specific things that you are on that list that are at the top of that list as well?
Yeah, I actually got asked this question the other day in an interview. I think I said Tortuga because I want to go down to Florida, go right on the beach, you know, have fun. I knew that came along after I think I was first playing like some of the big ones, and I haven't got to get there yet. So hopefully, like next year or the year after, we'll be down there. And then Lollapalooza. I got asked if it was like a country one or like a non-country one. I said Lollapalooza would be a dope one because they always have a couple country acts sprinkled in, and like now it's becoming more and more popular. And I remember growing up, I'm from Terre Haute, Indiana, about 2.5 hours from Chicago. So like Grant Park up there was just, you know, a hop, skip, and a jump away, and all my friends were going to Lolla every year. So to do that would be pretty cool. Or Bonnaroo, like right outside.
Yeah.
Bonnaroo.
So, I mean, speaking of that, because yes, you're a country artist, but do any people out there say, you know what, you're not country enough? You know, you're a little bit too pop. Like, do you have haters like that?
Dude, bro, always. I mean, that'll always happen. You could be the countryest dude in the world, and I think that somebody would find something wrong with your music. Or,
Right.
you know, I always say too, like, the country music today is going to sound different from the country music in the 90s regardless, or like the 80s, whatever, because it's 2020. Like technology evolves, trends evolve, even like clothing, you know, the styles change, everything changes. And that's not to say that the old stuff isn't just as good or just as great. It's just, you know, there's always something new and something fun that people try. And
Sometimes the old stuff comes back.
Yeah, exactly. When the old stuff right now that people are making that's more traditional is great, but the new stuff is great too, and it's taking over the world as well. You know, they're both like on top of the charts, and I love to see that. I always used to say, like, when people would be like, "You're not country enough," or, you know, "You don't know a damn thing about it. You don't, you know, you're too poppy, this and that." I was like, "Well, dude, listen to NWA from like 1991, and then listen to like Ray Shremmerd in 2015. I'm like, it's all rap, it's all hip hop, but it don't sound the same either.
Right.
Like, stop putting things in a box, man. Let people create what they want to create and let people like what they want to like, and whatever that's called. I mean, I just call it good music at the end of the day.
I mean, it is music. It's all personal. Like it's like your thumbprint, you know, you have a totally different sound than other country artists, and there's room enough for everyone.
Everyone's individual at the end of the day, dude. Like, regardless of what the hell it is, music taste, you know, they play sports, they like to read books, they do, you know, everybody has their niches and what they love, but everybody's the same at the end of the day too. So like, everybody should just embrace that.
Yeah, exactly. And then kind of one more question about that. You kind of touched on it. How do you, you know, every country artist out there gets hate. How do you kind of shut that down in your mind? Like, how do you not let it affect you?
Oh, dude, I learned to like not let it affect me at a very young age. I was more concerned with the comments that were like sweet and like good and like happy and supporting me. Like I don't know. And I know it's easier said than done, but I've just never been somebody to let the darkness like kind of come in when there's so many people that love you. Like why would
Yeah.
you care? And if people are hating on you or looking at it, like that means they looked at it and you know, you got more views. You got more comments. They're helping what you're doing anyway. So I don't know. I will say for real, I don't ever get that beat up about somebody hating on what I do. I'm more concerned with the people that love what I do.
That's good. Good. I love that. I love that viewpoint. Dylan Schneider, thank you so much for hanging with me, man.
Of course, dude. Thank you for having me. I can't wait to see y'all out there.